Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another DC comic review, and this time I'll be reviewing Action Comics Superman by Philip Kennedy Johnson, which is 1031, and also 1036 of Detective Comics Batman. So, time to get started with Action Comics Superman. So, starting off with the cover. Does this cover in any way, shape or form share something that actually happens within the comics? Well, sure enough, it does. And this is to which I gave the cover a rating of 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the internal art and what I give for its rating after I've shown you around the beginning, middle and end of this story. I want to take note that I will not be covering the backstory, both in this one and also the Batman story. Now this is some of the art around the beginning of the story. And this is some of the art around the middle of the story. And also some of the art around the end of the story. I must admit, I really did enjoy the art in this issue, to which I also gave it a 7 out of 10. Now for the story, did it have any comic references? Or references to any of the previous comics that Philip Kennedy Johnson has been working on? Surprisingly, big fat no. It probably wouldn't hurt to use it. Plus it would actually make the storytelling and the story rating a little bit higher within the story. Moving into the next thing, did he cover anything in relation to time? Whether it's time in relation around Superman, Superboy, and of course the family. And not just the family, but also these refugees that are starting to come in. Not at all, but it also would have helped with one of the characters, to which it does seem to appear that there is a flashback being shown, but it's not being pointed out as a flashback. So both editor and writer really need to get on top of that, or else your story rating is going to drop lower than what I've actually rated it. Now, did we get locations? Now, this is one thing that we sort of did get, but the locations we do know are Earth and the Fortress of Solitude. They were shown in story, but they weren't sort of like highlighted in the story. Again, it would not hurt, plus it would also help increase the story rating. Cast of characters, of course, we had Superman, Clark Kent, Superboy, John Samuel Kent, to which many of us Super Sons readers still want to gauge back to the fun age he was before and having our Super Sons back. We had the appearance of Aquaman, which was really interesting, and I sort of liked what happened. I sort of enjoyed what happened when Superman actually had to go into Aquaman's sphere to try to regain something that had actually fallen into the ocean. I did like that part in the story. We had Lois and we also had Supergirl, and we also had the appearance of Mongol. Of course, John is still seeing that this is like a part of Mongol's plan, but Clark's sort of like pushing it aside a bit, but he's still wanting to do everything he can to save whoever these particular refugees are. Are they Kryptonian? Are they not Kryptonian? Whoever they are, he wants to learn about them. to which I gave the story rating a 5.5 out of 10. Just those minor criticisms, but apart from that, this was a very mediocre story. Now it's time to move on to DC Comics, Detective Comics Batman. First things first, starting off with the cover. Does this cover in any way, shape or form indicate something that may or might have happened within the story, even if by similar appearance? Surprisingly it does, to which the cover gets a 7 out of 10. That's right, the same as the last thing that was reviewed. Now, time to move into the internal art, to which I'll show the beginning, middle and end. Now, this is some of the art around the beginning of the story. Some of the art around the middle of the story, to which you can see Huntress there on the left. And finally, some of the art around the end of the story. For this, I also gave the art 7 out of 10. Now, how did we go story-wise? Did this story give us in any way any references to any of the previous comics that have come before it? Surprisingly, it did, and I'm glad it did, as this also goes towards the story rating, to which it actually gave us a reference to sort of like go back to the previous issue. Hey, it's better than nothing, which was really good. Moving in the time, now this is one area where Mariko Tamaki is seriously falling and failing at, as she also needs to point out when these events take time. Like, it wouldn't hurt to, like, if this is taking over if this is panning out over a few days or a week, let us know. We need to know. The reader needs to know this stuff. Even if it's taking over a month, let it be pointed out. Let it be shown. Even be headlined in a bit. Don't learn everything that you've learned from Brian Michael Bendis. He gets things wrong too, so wake up there. But where did it actually shine? It shined in the area of locations, to which we got to see Bruce Wayne. Of course, we all know that this takes place in Gotham. We got to go to the area of Fort Grey. We also encountered the City District Hall, to which there was an encounter with Mr. Worth, I believe, if I remember correctly. Micro Cave 7A with Bruce Wayne there. And we also went to Mayor Nakano's office. And one really stupidly done was sort of like across town, but it never really pointed out as to where it really was across town. You could have pointed out, say, maybe across town at this cafe, for example. Even if you were trying to set up something, it would make it a little bit easier. Or across town near the docks, or the Gotham docks. That felt a little bit lazy within the storytelling, and it could have been improved. As for the rest of the locations that were brought up and shown in the story, I did like. And I also liked what was happening there, of what was being pointed out. Now, with the cast of characters, of course, we had Batman, we had Mayor Nakano, we had Huntress, and also the appearance of Lady Clayface, to which they all played their roles within the story, to which I gave this story a rating of 6 out of 10. Well, until then, please don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you enjoyed the content. Until then, let's keep it colourful. If you've now made it to the end of the video, have yourself an awesome day.